Welcome to today's video. We're going to talk about skipping eyeshadow and hooded eyes makeup. Now I'm starting off with Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer. You really only need to apply about 1/8 of the size of a pea to your eyeball. And then while it's drying, pull out your brand new palette that you got from Ipsy and grab a color that is close to your skin tone. Now, if you apply this from your lash line all the way up to your brow and then spread it out as far as you're going to take it on the side, this will actually help with that skipping eyeshadow problem. I thought this was a nice palette. It's called True Nude and it's by Eleman Beauty. And I usually just start by tapping the color in where I want it to be. And since I have a heavily hooded eye, I'm going to typically apply it in a cone shape or a V shape. And then once I get it where I want it, then I'll begin to blend it with the windshield wiper strokes. Notice the tail of my eyebrow. When I'm doing my brows, I don't bring my eyebrow too far down because I want to leave that area where I'm shading right there. So instead of closing the eyebrow off by making it point downward, I just leave it a little open and then I can swoop the eyeshadow out there and give myself a slightly lifted eye look. And if you want to try this, you generally want to use the lighter colors when you're swooping it out there. And it's also important to use the right pressure. You see how when I use too much pressure, it just drags the eye out and then things don't go on smoothly. So if you just use very light pressure and swoop it out there, it will blend beautifully. Once that's done, I'm going to grab a little bit more of the same color and just fill in right there where I have a little disconnect. And then I'm going to swoop this under for a nice soft under eye look. I don't really wear eyeliner, so I like to bring a softer look under my eye as well to give myself a little definition. It's very subtle. And honestly, a smaller brush would have worked better here, but I already had the color on there, so I just went with it. Also, a word of caution. This swooping under your eyes like this with the eyeshadow may not work for everybody, but you can give it a try and see how it works for you. Now here's how I do the rest of my hooded eye. I'm taking a darker color, and with my eye open, I'm going to stamp it right above my eye. The reason that I do it that way is that with my eyes open, you won't be able to see any of that color if I don't get it above my eye. And really what I'm doing is I'm creating the illusion of a crease. And if you try it this way, you'll find that it gives your eye more depth. And that's kind of what we're missing when we have those really hooded eyes. We're missing the depth. So we're just putting it in there in a different way. And like always, I usually tap my color in place, and then once I get it where I want it, then I'll use the windshield wiper strokes to blend. Now on the part of my eyelid that disappears when I'm looking straight forward, that's called the movable eyelid, which sounds kind of weird to me, but anyway, I don't usually do a lot of intricate things in that area because it's not going to be seen anyway, so why bother? I actually will do a little bit of a peekaboo color sometimes to, bring out a different area that I want to highlight, but that's about it. And one thing I'm not showing on here that's really important when you're blending out your eyeshadow is to apply your eyeshadow and then use a clean brush on each eye to blend. And this doesn't have to be complicated. You can just clean your brush in between blending one eye and the other. But you really don't want to use the same brush from eye to eye without cleaning, or you can get more color on one than the other. Next, I'm using my flat brush, and I'm using the darkest color in the palette, and I'm just using it as an eyeliner. And I just apply this with little stamping motions, and that way it doesn't drag. And I will go back in a minute and blend this a little bit. I've kind of given up on eyeliners. I think eyeshadow is so much easier to work with. And even when I'm going for a more dramatic look, it can be fine-tuned. And I think my favorite thing about using it as an eyeliner is it doesn't really show textures that are either on my eyelid or underneath. And at my age, I'm getting all these little tiny growths. Nobody else can see them. They're so small, but I'm getting all these little tiny growths and they're so annoying. I'm so over it. And so actually doing a little smoky eye underneath can help hide those little things. You can't see it, but I still know it's there. By the way, it's a beautiful lip color, but if you ask me about the color, I'm going to tell you that I don't recommend it because it's the one that I got all over my teeth. If you didn't see that video, you need to go check out that short. I hope you were paying attention to the directions that I was blending because I was talking over it. And I'm going to grab the one shimmery color from this palette, and I'm going to try to strategically place it right there. And that way, when I open up my eye, it will make it look like my eyelid is just a tiny bit bigger. I'm using a flat eyeshadow brush for this instead of a fluffy tubular one because this will actually pack that color in where I want it to be, instead of diffusing it all over the place. By the way, thank you for following my channel. I'm loving it over here on YouTube, and I'm still learning new things, so if I miss something, of course, I want you to point it out to me in the nicest way possible because I get my feelings hurt. I do post a video every single day. Some are short form, some are longer. If you turn your notifications on for my channel, you will get a reminder whenever I post a longer video. However, if you are hoping to see my shorts, you will not get a notification about those. So that's why I say check back every day. I believe YouTube is fixing this problem, so thank you, YouTube. Now, with all that smoking out I did under my eye, I decided to go ahead and use a nude liner to add another bit of definition. And I'm really trying to keep it right next to my lash line. A lot of times you might have seen me use a white one. I do like to use a white one as well, but that doesn't work for everybody, so sometimes it's nice to have the nude. And then for a bit of magical fairy glitter, because I really didn't get enough sparkle on my lid where I wanted it, so I'm just going to go right above where I actually have my eyeliner so that the eyeliner doesn't disappear, and then I'm just going to drag that out about halfway across my eye. This little glittery eyeshadow is by e.l.f. and I like it because it does not irritate my eyes. I feel like the older I get, the more irritable my eyes become. And now I'm really about mascaras that don't make my eyes water, things that don't make my eyes itch, things that don't make my eyes break out, obviously. Now, I intentionally did not edit the crap out of this video because I wanted you to see how long it actually takes me to get something like this in place. And as content creators, we sometimes forget, we start thinking that people just want to see the next step. They don't want to see how many thousands of times you blended this or that. But I think especially for people who are beginners, it's important to see mistakes. It's important to see how long things take. And, let's be real, right? On my channel, you're going to get a little bit of both. You're going to get the live videos where I mess up in real time. You're going to get the short videos where it seems like I never mess up. And then you're going to get videos like this, where I'm just trying to be really honest so that it helps you. By the way, shout out to my awesome mom who bought me this really cool hat. I love you, Mom.